then you're immediately like, well, so why didn't the lasers work on the door? And then the next scene, like, you see that, like, that whole mountaintop is gone.
But we're not hooking them up to a machine to...
We're not draining their life energy to keep the planet running. Yes. And Kirk's like, hold on a minute.
Yes, this is Kirk.
I either wait for the Federation or I send out a distress signal, and anybody who comes to this planet, I eat them. I eat them.
Riker had to be, like, over the top and cliche in his, like, actions for the casino.
Do you see it, Enterprise? Do you see it, Enterprise? Sorrow, cry for the children. First and last, first and last, first and last. Delicious.
All Sarek does is goes like this. And
Yeah, he knocks his hands away.
And then the Tellarite's like, Kirk literally, he looks at him and he goes like this.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
What is going on, everybody? Today, we're talking about Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 12. And that episode is entitled The High Ground. It originally aired January 22nd, 1990. It was written by Melinda M. Snodgrass. Melinda was the story editor for Season 2, from The Measure of a Man to Shades of Grey. She was an executive script consultant for Season 3, from The Ensigns of Command to an upcoming episode I won't say. And she wrote The Measure of a Man, the teleplay of Pen Pals. She was the writer of Up the Long Ladder and The Ensigns of Command. This is her last time writing a full episode for Star Trek. So she'll still be around for a couple more episodes as a script supervisor, but this is the last time she writes an episode. It is directed by Gabriel Beaumont, who previously directed the episode Booby Trap. The synopsis for The High Ground is Dr. Crusher is captured by terrorists who want to involve the Federation in their struggle for freedom. We had some guest appearances this week. We had Carrie Keene as Alexandria Devos. She's in a handful of movies, mostly TV shows. After this, she goes on to be on kind of like character roles of like Murder, She Wrote, Matlock, Diagnosis Murder, Walker, Texas Ranger, Chicago Hope, NYPD Blue, things of that nature. Still out there doing things. Then we had Richard Cox as Chiral Finn. He's been in a handful of movies, not incredibly well-known ones, at least that I can tell. But he did star in a handful of TV shows after this. Things like Ghost Rider. He was in 13 episodes of that. Also, Diagnosis Murder. He played in an episode of X-Files. He was on ER, Bones, CSI Miami. But yeah, his most latest thing was 2020, show called Novelmore. Still out there doing things. Then we had Mark Buckland as Katik Shaw. He pretty much went on to become a television director. And starting in 2019, he's been directing episodes of television. Things like the Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, yeah.
Grimm, the NBC show Grimm. My Name is Earl. Scrubs, The West Wing, Felicity, things of that nature. So... Then we had Fred G. Smith as a police officer. I don't have a lot of information on that guy. And then Christopher Patet as the young boy that Beverly was talking to. He was apparently in the cult classic Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. He plays Zach Crandall in that movie. He's also in Point Break. And after this, he's in things like Doogie Howser, L.A. Law, Baywatch, Sequest, Judging Amy. But the sad thing is he died of an overdose in 2000 at the age of 24. So, terrible. But that was our introduction to the episode. So before we move on to supporters of the podcast, let's go over to Caleb and ask Caleb what he thought of the episode.
Just trying to contain my excitement.
It was okay.
Yeah, it did its job.
It did what they wrote it to do. I'm gonna give it a 1 Akuda this week.
Okay.
It probably could be more middle if I really wanted it to be, you know?
But like our interview with Melinda Snodgrass, which is on the channel, you're like, maybe I like it a little bit more because I understand her.
Yeah, and it's also the first episode that, like, Beverly's got to do something, so
Very much so.
I am happy about that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it sits kind of average for most folks out there. I didn't hate the episode. It's like it's not bad. It's just I think the thing that we'll end up commenting about is the ultimate message, and I think that's what
yeah.
I think that's what makes it kind of probably likely, knowing how things were from our interview, is she wrote something and then people squandered it, and it ended up being this. So that wouldn't surprise me.
And they said, no, women feel this way. About, oh, okay.
You fool. Well, that's what Caleb thought of the episode. But before we move on to the review, let's first, right off the bat, let me go over here and just do it like this. And we thank Ed, Mark Starr, and Captain Elimar for their Patreon support. We appreciate those guys taking some fine dollars out of their wallets and sending them our way so that they can get some extra goodies, some extra treats. They get stickers every month, specially designed by those special hands next to me here. This guy, right over there. He sends out special one-of-a-kind stickers out every month. And Ed is at a tier where he can request episodes for us to discuss on Patreon. And funny enough, because of them being Patreons, they get their comments read during the podcast. And that's what Captain Elimar did. He commented on our Patreon exclusive review of Let That Be Your Last Battlefield.
Your last battlefield.
From Star Trek, the original series. So we'll read that here. He says, computer, self-destruct code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To be administered on my command. Kirk, to some dumb alien, probably. We're back, baby! Nothing like a classic episode of filler. I mean, compelling alien action.
Yeah.
First things first, the green tunic is iconic. Looking good.
Yes.
It's a pretty iconic episode, but it's honestly pretty bland. I mostly wanted you to see it because of what Will said of it being remembered, even if it's a weak episode. Will brings up a good point that they are weirded out by the alien. Didn't Kirk get thrown around by a green lizard man?
Uh-oh.
Spock isn't very racially sensitive, but what can you do? And then laughing with a teardrop emoji. Caleb is totally right that Kirk is a little too hot-headed this episode to this weird alien.
Yeah.
Will's point about him wanting to complete his mission, making him angry, is plausible, but feels like a stretch. Probably could have been written a bit cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
A bit cleaner, yeah.
OMG! Red alert! And then he gives us the klaxon red siren emoji. Come on, guys. Dude must have just found the zoom button. Had great holodeck lore with the origin of Spock's fascinating line. He enjoyed knowing where that Spock appeared on our review.
Yeah.
Lots of talk this week about cost-saving measures. Even the freaking doors don't close on their own. Can't see the ship. It's way cool, man. You gotta believe me. Same with the planet being destroyed. Spock's like, yep, pretty destroyed. Nice to know the stock footage was just to stretch the runtime. Why write more when you can just run through halls?
It's true.
Pretty good points y'all brought up that I didn't think about while watching. That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm. That's what we get paid for.
That's true. It is true. It is what we get paid for. 50,000 years seems like a stupidly long time to be in conflict. It's a lot like when they throw out they have 3 hours to solve the space problem before they all die. They seem surprised when they find out everyone on their planet died. It kind of makes me feel like it happened like last week because people can talk through space. Like we didn't want to tell anybody that this happened.
Mm-mm.
Will brings up great points about the civil rights movement and how this episode obviously parallels its ideas. The stuff in the episode is good, and it's sad that Caleb brought up Tasha Yar's best episode.
Oh,
She wanted to fight in that arena because she don't need no man to tell her what she can't have any man she wants, including the man she don't need.
I don't. Yes.
Very clear and positive messaging in that episode.
Oh, it was clear.
Oh, very clear. Now back to MLK. I'm glad Caleb was surprised that the episode didn't shy away from the implied destruction of their whole race. It's a serious issue and is seemingly really easy to resolve. You just got to think of everyone as people. But is maddeningly still around, and this episode is pretty blunt, saying, hate's gonna destroy you. And yeah, I don't disagree. At the end of the day, that is the message. If you're gonna be foolishly racist, everybody will just end up dying. So
Your planet will explode.
well, your planet will have burning wreckage and ruins. It won't explode. That's too much.
That's true.
One Roddenberry this week could have been better, but still iconic. Well, we agree. And so, because we haven't been doing Hailing Frequencies Open yet, he gives us a popcorn suggestion. So he says popcorn award to Kirk as the best actor of the episode. And he puts in the argument, he's got that green shirt. So, Caleb, we put it to you now, the master, the controller of the popcorn award. Who gets the popcorn award for Let That Be Your Last Battlefield as the best actor of that episode?
I would agree. Yeah, I'd give it to Kirk because of his green shirt.
Taking the easy road.
Yeah. When I go back to watch TOS and Kirk's wearing green, I'm like, this is gonna be a good episode.
This is gonna be it. This is it.
Peak.
Nice. Yeah, very good. So we give that to Kirk for that. It's nice to see a popcorn award on a TOS episode, so we appreciate you guys putting it out there. We also covered a piece of the action.
Yeah.
We also covered that as a Patreon exclusive. So if you want to catch our reviews of those 2 episodes, you can head on over there. And then you can always make suggestions to influence Ed to make more episode choices so that we review those as well. Or pick that tier yourself. We also had a new subscriber to the YouTube channel, and that new subscriber is Travis F. Jackson. So as Caleb said last week, welcome aboard. We appreciate your subscription. We hope you continue to find things that you like. He did comment on our season, probably series finale of Star Trek Con. He left us a comment on there. I'll just read it quick.
Did he love it?
I'll just read it quick. It's short and to the point, and we appreciate it. He says, series, though, all in all, 5 out of 5. Okay, we rated it a 4.7, so we're in pretty close agreement. He says, I enjoyed listening to both it and your commentary. Thank you for hosting. And then he concluded with, your pod theme song is also top notch. So we appreciate that. Yeah, we gave very strong, opinionated reviews of the final episode there, episode 9, I guess. So you can go over there and watch that if you listen to that new series, Star Trek Con. We appreciate your comment. And
I gave every episode a 5, and I gave the finale a 4.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Check that out. I think all in all, we just hope that they use what they presented in that last episode as a means to do something else in the future. And if not, they pick another series and do something else with it, whether it's with Legacy Cast or not. It was a fun listen and an enjoyable experience overall.
Yeah, it was.
So without any further ado, let's get straight into the review. So we start off where they're in orbit of Rutia 4, and there's protests going down on the planet. They're actively not a part of the Federation, but the Enterprise has been sent there to give them medical supplies because they trade with the Rutia people, essentially. But there is a separatist group called the Ansata. They are causing a lot of havoc on the planet.
Why were they on the planet to begin with? Did you catch that?
Yeah, they were bringing medical supplies to the non-terrorist people.
And that requires them to have a break in the cafeteria.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Because it's like the episode opens with them talking about how much like tension, and then they're just like, "This is good. You try this." It's like,
I assume what we're supposed to take away is Worf is down there for security purposes. Beverly's down there because she wants eyes on the people who need the medical supplies. And Data's down there as like a helper, like he's helping her move things and like lift
yeah, he's
things.
carrying the boxes.
Right. That's what I'm assuming the away team, that's the purpose of that specific away team. And I think it's
Mhm.
just showing that Beverly is just like in the middle of it all. And like
I think they're there because she has to get kidnapped. I think that's why they're there.
that could be right, but I don't think so.
I don't believe they do that.
No, that seems too easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically basically an explosion happens and who goes running in? Dr. Crusher, and she's
Yeah.
trying to help these pretty smashed up people, and then as she's helping them, both Worf, a police officer, and Data are all like, "Hey, so we should probably just
Hey,
leave."
what's on the other side of this explosion? Like the far room, the far end of this room. You should go over there.
Right. Nope.
Nobody investigated the explosion at all. They just assumed it was just a
Just
crazy happenstance.
yeah, just a crazy explosion. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I kind of thought it was quite the delay to tell Captain Picard.
It was pretty delayed. There's a lot of delays in this opening sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a delay between the time where the guy disappears and they pull out their phasers. You're
Yes.
under the assumption that this is like new technology, but then she tells you like, "Oh yeah, we've known about this technology for they've had this for like years." You're like, okay, so that's a delay. This episode should just been called "Delay."
The delayed ground. Yeah. Of course, we get the famous Kirk and McCoy back and forth with Crusher and Picard. You can't take me to the ship. I'm the doctor. I'm the captain. I'm the doctor. Right? It's very famous. But
Yeah,
one of the great moments that happens in this episode, and I played it back a couple times just to laugh hard at it, and then also I showed it to Adrian laugh, was Picard's like, okay, transporter room, get a lock on the away team. And then he's talking to Beverly, and she, they go back and forth. And then there's a pause, and then you hear the transporter room's like, I have a lock on them, Captain. Would you like me to beam them up? And then he kind of like pauses, and then he turns and looks at Riker, and Riker says, I don't want to be in the transporter room to greet her.
yeah,
That made me laugh a
yeah.
lot.
That was funny.
He's like, "Don't look at me like your funeral, buddy. You want to bring her back to the ship."
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that.
I know it's funny how he tells her later on too. He's like, "Yeah, I'd beam you up even if you told me not to," and then it's like, "But you didn't."
But you did it, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And then, like you said, Crusher gets abducted by Transportal Man. Shoop, shoop.
Who would have seen it coming?
Not us. So we come back from the musical intro. There's no transporter residuals, so they didn't use, teleportation
Yeah.
transporter technology. They can't locate her. So it's either they've disabled it or they're just like they're shielding the scans and something. But ultimately, why Dr. Crusher? Why would they take Dr. Crusher?
Yeah, why would they take a medical person? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's weird. You have all
We
these
brought
people like
medical.
at war with each other, and you're bringing one side medical, and you don't understand why they kidnapped the medical officer.
Why would they take the doctor?
She even says before they like beam away, she's like, I don't think you understand who I am. I'm a medical person." He's like, "Oh, great," and then they leave.
Oh, good. Yeah. Then we meet Carol Finn, and then I think in this part he doesn't explain his purpose. He just tries to feed her, and she doesn't talk to him, and he's just like, whatever. It goes back to the Enterprise, and Wesley and Troy and Picard are all talking to each other, and Picard
Yeah.
tells Wesley that they're using her likely as a bargaining chip, and then he's like,
A
bargaining chip?
bargaining chip? Yeah. Boy
Yeah,
genius.
no idea.
Boy genius strikes again.
Yeah. And so Picard puts Wesley on researching the new tech that the Ansata apparently have.
hmm
And then we cut back down to the planet, and Worf and Riker are talking to like the head investigator police officer, and she gives them the like piece of technology thing that they picked off of dead terrorists, and says like, here you go, like you can look at it and try to figure it out. Like, we don't know how it works, and we'll share all of our like research and our stuff that with you guys. And they're like, awesome. And she makes mention that she has no room for optimism. She's seen what
No,
these animals
they're
do.
disgusting animals.
And then
They're
when
just animals. Can you believe when you tell people what to do and they don't want to do
animals.
it? Horrible. It's like, yeah, but you're also killing them, right? Well, yeah. And we shoot every child that comes through too. But like, we're the good guys.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we come back, and Beverly gets her chains taken off because it's time to eat, and she finally gives in. And then when she
And what's he
thinks
got? Like
that,
worms or something?
I don't know what he's got, it's probably mud gravy.
Oh, mud.
Oh, is this mud? Is this special mud? Yeah. When he's taking off the shackles, she's like, I have a son, to try to get him not to do
Yeah.
whatever.
Kidnappers always care.
It's usually the point of why they kidnapped you.
They usually always care that, like, oh, geez, I didn't know that you had like a family.
Oh
Oh,
no.
I'll let you go, I guess.
Oh man. Are you
Oh, no.
you're a mom?
Oh, yeah. It's such a stereotype, isn't it?
It's bad.
But they do in everything. Everything does it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So so the commercial break because she doesn't want to get hurt by him, and she tries to appeal to him by saying that she has a son. Come back, we learn that they've stolen the Federation medical supplies, and that there's like an interchange of mutual hatred for both. Basically, the surface dwellers hate the cave people, and the cave people hate the surface dwellers. That's just
hmm
what's happening. We learned that the thing that they're using is like a dimensional shift thing, where they're like literally going through a dimension portal and then popping up
Yeah.
through, which is fun.
It's really good for their health.
Very good for their health. Yeah, which explains why they abducted Dr. Crusher. We learn of the Elway theorem, and that it was discontinued because it was ultimately a fatal act, as we learned, that eventually too much use like breaks down your cellular structure, and that's what Beverly can't fix that. Like, most of the people who've been doing it a lot are like beyond help.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing too good.
So it's kind of what's happening. It's where we are in this middle part. I noticed that. I don't know you're going to laugh at this. No, I know it's going to be a thing, but I thought it was really funny and just an interesting kind of like semi lazy choice by production staff, that to make sure that everybody knew that they were aliens, all of the males have white streaks through their hair. And I was like, oh, okay.
Cool.
Because like one person or one guy having like an X-Men rogue like white thing is kind of interesting, because it's like, yeah, maybe that's like stress. That's some sort of, something, right? But like
Yeah.
every single male, they show like children getting arrested and they all have the white streak, and it's just like, okay. And it's not just like
Good.
the
Yeah.
cave people, it's also the city people. So yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting just choice. But
Well, it's also very on the nose that like her kidnap, like the main guy of the group is like this handsome rogue guy, you know.
oh yeah, he's beautiful.
Oh no, he's hot. Yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned George Washington in this stretch, which was just an interesting thing. It's the thing that you and
Bargain?
I always talk about, where, like, of course, we still talk about like Henry V. Like, we know who that is, and like we know Charlemagne, like all these people, like ancient kings. Like, we
hmm
know Cleopatra and King
Yeah.
Tutankhamun. Like we know who these people are, and we might refer to them in some manner. But it's so funny to me that like an alien who has no association with the Federation, with Starfleet, makes
Yeah.
mention of a nation ruler from like 600 years ago to be like, didn't that world leader from the continent that your ancestors originated from, didn't he do the same thing? And it's
I
like,
don't know.
it's like, well, here's the thing, like that's a very long time ago, and two, it's a little different than what's happening here. Like what George Washington did was, treasonous, and he was
Yeah.
attacking his own people. He was a leader of people, right? But it's like also they were trying to, break away, and it's like it doesn't really seem like that's what they're doing. They're just attacking people. I never at any point got the feeling that they were trying to establish another nation somewhere else. He
No.
mentions it, they talk about it, they call them separatists. But at no point do we get like an establishment of like where like they're just living in the cave underneath the thing. It's like I don't really understand this.
Yeah, I don't feel like they were trying to like take land somewhere else. It was like
Right,
they just
right,
keep attacking and blowing up cities.
right. And it's like George Washington was like fighting for land that they had colonized. So it's like it's a little different.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I will say this point. I wrote this down. I did like this quote that he says, that Finn says. So he couches the idea that he is no different from George Washington and other people because, and he says, how much innocent blood has been spilled for the cause of freedom in the history of your federation, Doctor? How many good and noble societies have bombed civilians in war, have wiped out whole cities? You frown on my immorality. I am willing to die for my freedom, Doctor, and in the finest tradition of your own great civilization, I am willing to kill for it too. And it's interesting because like we haven't really seen that in like the stuff they talk about in Star Trek, like where it's like, oh, that's the battle of whatever. It's like we don't really see those things, they just mention them. But there's always like this interesting dark side to it all that obviously Gene Roddenberry didn't intend for the show, but does make an interesting argument that like it's always the question, and we talked about it the other week here. I think all 3 episodes here, right? This run of 3 episodes has been the question of who has the right to rule and what people can be excluded and included. Because the defector is trying to make peace among 2 nations that are vying for positioning and, lines on a map, even though the
Hmm.
Federation is arguably a more defensive, peaceful empire, essentially. They're still contesting space. And then the hunted dealt with, forgotten members of society trying to integrate back into society. So it's interesting. It's an interesting thing that they keep speaking to. But like we don't ever see the Earth Romulan War. They talk about it, but we don't see it. Discovery shows the Klingon War, and Strange New Worlds talks about it, but we don't they don't largely really show anything. We get little snippets of it here and there. And, in Enterprise after the Xindi attack, like there's a moment of maybe they're going to send Enterprise back out to like kill the Xindi. Archer has some moments of kill them all, but ultimately we don't really see anything that would give him Finn like a strong position of argument where you're like, well, they did do blank, but at the same time, we do know it's in Federation history. So just an interesting thing that I like when they couch that kind of concept with these folks.
Yeah, I did. I like that conversation that he had. It made it. I think you're supposed to side with him
Right.
ultimately, you know.
Well, it's the thing that you and I have talked about many times in episodes written by Melinda Snodgrass, that like all of the dialogue parts that are like really amazing and like compelling, like she clearly wrote,
Hmm.
and then any part of it that's like kind of weak sauce, clearly got rewritten by somebody else. It's just like
Yeah.
that's just what's happened. So go down to the comment section because this is our halfway point, and write George Washington.
Remember when Abraham Lincoln helped Kirk?
I do, I do.
That was cool.
It was very cool. So we come back from break, and Riker is willing to negotiate with the terrorists. They make mention of an interesting topic, the Irish reunification of 2024.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
That was a good day.
Very good day. And then Data poses this like really great question to Picard. Like very, very good question to Picard. And I was so looking forward to Picard's answer. And then it was a wet hand fart noise. And I
Mhm.
was like, what? I was just like, am I watching Star Trek? Or am I just watching some other like sad TV show? And Data says, then it would be accurate to say that terrorism is acceptable when all options for peaceful settlement have been foreclosed. And Picard
Mhm.
just is like, humanity has been trying to discover that answer for centuries. Anyways, Data, sit down here and keep And I was just like, wow, what a hopeful future to know that even in 300 years from now, terrorism is still a thing they haven't figured out. You're like, awesome.
It is stupid.
It was one of the few times that like they always talk like in things that like Star Trek, it's such a positive message and such a hopeful future. And then this line happened, and I was like, well, apparently not terrorism. That's still a huge problem in the future.
No, we haven't figured that out.
Then Finn, gets real angry because he has to be. So he's now going to destroy the Enterprise.
Yeah. Yeah, he's big mad.
Huge mad. Because he's going to make an ultimate play that basically he figures if he steals, if he abducts Captain Picard, if he can blow up the Enterprise, that'll force the Federation to basically get more involved and then make all these treaties and doctrines and policies that'll ultimately allow them to win a little bit because, the Federation is willing to listen to both sides. So they'll get some sort of, inroad with society by involving the Federation. So they breach the Enterprise. To get that to happen, they put an explosive charge on the warp core to destroy it, but not Geordi. Geordi's quick on the draw. He knows how to get it right. He knows how to get it off the warp core.
You can't blow up the Enterprise because that's where my son is.
Yeah. He's like, well, guess what? I had a son too, and he was on the Enterprise, and I blew that up too.
Yeah. I had a son, and I sent him in to blow up a building, and they shot him. And now I'm upset about it.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Bunch of jerks.
So he put this comm badge on the explosive charge, transport on his signal, they beam it out. Then they get mad that the Enterprise doesn't explode, so they beam on the bridge. And I enjoyed this part. Picard gives a nice old wallop to Finn.
Picard actually does something,
He was
yeah.
like, absolutely not. Really made me laugh.
Yeah, he actually like dove on him, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he full punches and then like tackles him. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I was
I
happy.
was not upset about that. And then I really liked too that like Worf was like, oh, and then they both shoot each other at the same time. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And then they bring Picard in the thing, and they see each other for the first time, and it's like one on the music. You're like, oh no, they have Captain Picard.
And then he just lays on the bed the rest of the episode.
Yeah. How could I get out of these shackles? Hmm. Hmm. No, he's like this, Caleb. He's like this. He's like this. Hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
He's he's doing what you're doing, but just behind his back. Yeah, so we have that commercial break. Wesley says that he figures he can find out where their power source is if they just use the transport thing one more time, which is a very convenient thing to write. Picard talks to Beverly that he's not sure if Worf is alive or dead. Wesley was on the bridge, but he took cover. He'll be a good Starfleet officer. Such a brave boy because he's figuring all the things out. And then they go back and forth, and they have their Kirk and McCoy argument again. Well, if I was the captain of the Enterprise, I would beam you back aboard. Well, if I was the doctor of the Enterprise, I would stay down on the planet. Boo. Okay, like, yeah, whatever, guys. Whatever you say. Just kiss.
It's a little too late, right? She almost tells him something.
She does almost tell him something. Yep. And Finn comes into the room and Picard's like, listen. He's like, you must be a moron because now you've not only have you abducted like two people from a Starfleet ship, but you assaulted a Starfleet ship. So like obviously they're going to do something about this. And he's like, excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Picard's like, you want Federation involvement? And he's like, yeah, of course I do. And then he explains everything. Transports to the Enterprise and makes his list of demands. I would like a ham sandwich and a flying helicopter, and then when they bring the helicopter, I would like to watch it. All these crazy things. He's just telling Troy, and she's just like, okay. Like, I'm glad I wrote all of this down, all of your list of demands as you yelled at me in a hallway.
It was funny. It has to be Troy because didn't do anything else this episode.
No. Wesley finds their base because he used it one more time. Worf is alive. And I liked it where Worf comes up to Riker and he was like, Commander, I would like to join the away team in rescuing Captain Picard and Dr. Crusher. And Riker's like,
Yeah.
permission granted. And he's like, yes, yes. He's so happy. You
That
know?
was fine. Permission to beam down and up.
Yeah.
Permission
Granted. Yeah, that was pretty good.
And then Wesley's like, I would also like to beam down and save my mom. They're like, well,
Permission denied.
the books in the library need to be reorganized.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a perfect time for trivia.
Oh, not again. All right, now you're overacting.
So the episode was conceived in response to the producer's request for more action-adventure scripts. Dimensional shifting technology was created to meet Gene Roddenberry's concern that the terrorists would need a logical method to defeat the Enterprise D's technology. There you go. Very good. Originally, the plot was intended to have parallels to the American Revolution, but writer Melinda Snodgrass was told to change the analogy to Northern Ireland, a change she was very unhappy about. She says, I wanted it with Picard as Cornwallis, and the Romulans would have been the French, who were in our revolution, trying to break this planet away. Suddenly, Picard realized he's one of the oppressors. Instead, we do Breakfast in Belfast, where our people decide they're going to go off to Northern Ireland. Yep. So, like we said, she had another intention, and then they just changed it to whatever. Or told her to change it, basically.
That's weird.
Oh, that's strange.
They almost never do that.
No. The scenes of the Routine Plaza were filmed on Paramount Stage 9 using the extensively redressed Shuttle Bay set. So that's where that plaza was. That's cool. Many other writers of the show were extremely unhappy with the episode. Ronald D. Moore described it as an abomination. It's one of our terrorist show. It's our one terrorist show. We didn't have anything interesting to say about terrorism except that it's bad and Beverly gets kidnapped. Ho hum. They take her down to the caves and we get to have nice big preachy speeches about terrorism and freedom, fighting and security forces versus society. It's a very unsatisfying episode and the staff wasn't really happy with it.
But she also got to have Munchausen disease.
Just a little bit. Just Stockholm is what you're thinking of.
Stockholm, yeah. Munchausen is
Munchausen is
people who you love to take care of them.
Yeah, yes. She knew how to. Maybe it was the worst thing to find out. She could heal all of them from their dimensional problems, but she was like, "No, I can't. You'll have to keep me here longer."
Yeah, because her first use was, well, you don't have any Starfleet medical supplies. I'm like, oh, you mean like these ones that we stole? She's like, you stole these? Well, I still need more things.
Yeah, I still need more things. Likewise, Michael Pillar commented, another show that I wasn't particularly happy with. We set out to do a show about terrorists. What was the statement we made about terrorism in the show? Was it the point where the boy puts down the gun and says, maybe the end of terrorism is when the first child puts down his gun? It was effective in the context of that show, but is certainly not a statement that provides any great revelation. You must be prepared to say something new about social issues.
You left it for the very end too.
Yes.
Back
Yes.
all that's the point. Like, great.
Brandon Braga observed that there was a problem with the process by which the story was created. He says, very rarely do we start thinking about an episode in terms of an issue. Let's do a show about AIDS. Let's do a show about terrorism. We rarely think in those terms. We usually think in terms of neat science fiction twists, and that's what sends us in the direction of what's the story about and who's in it. So that's interesting. I didn't realize I would have personally thought that
Yeah.
what they did was like, okay, we need to tackle like this big social topic like slavery, racism, drug abuse. Any of the episodes that they've already covered, you're like, oh, well, clearly they're trying to make like a modern comment on it and just use aliens to get it across so that people, go like, wow, and then change their minds. But
It sounds to me that that's why it's bad.
right.
You know?
They're like, what would be really cool? It would be really cool if like they had a portal machine. Like, yeah, man, a portal machine would be really cool. I'm like, well, what would they do with that portal machine?
I don't know.
Like,
Like,
yeah, like appear in a room and take somebody. Like, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
yeah.
So this is an interesting thing that I wanted to include because I thought this was kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. I didn't really think about it until I read this, and you're probably going to have the same thought. It's kind of wild. So the episode was cut from first run transmission in the UK and the Republic of Ireland due to references to the reunification of Ireland being achieved through terrorism. When the
Hmm.
episode aired in early 1990, the idea that a peace treaty would exist by decade's end was almost as inconceivable as the breakup of the Soviet Union had been when it was referenced in The Naked Now. So Ireland was still, this was back when it was bad between Ireland and England, and they were, all that stuff was happening. Says to date, it has not aired on RTE, which is Radio Telefís. I can't do it in
Mhm.
Irish, but it's basically a national broadcaster of the Republic of Ireland. And only aired on the BBC for the first time on September 29th, 2007. So 18 years ago for the first time that aired in the UK. It says and with the Ireland reference intact, 15 years after it was intended to go out. It has, however, been aired several times on satellite and cable television, occasionally edited to remove the reference, and was released uncut on video and DVD in the UK and Ireland. So I totally didn't think about it because I don't know. It's just like one of those things I wasn't thinking about. I knew about the separation, and I knew when he referenced the Irish reunification, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But like, I never thought that like the reality behind the terminology that saying that the only way that they got back, like they reunited, like appropriately, was by means of terrorism, because that's what Data says. Like, well, the only times it's been successful, and then he mentions it. Like, this is one of the few times. Like, that is kind of wild for
Yeah,
them
that's
to,
funny.
or like promote. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's weird because most of the time they just make up crap.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But then to like specifically pinpoint something that was current, that's what I mean by if you don't start with the issue you want to address, like this is what you end up, you end up with an episode like, hey, this would be fun if we did this. We'll swing it back around to terrorism.
Yeah.
Then we'll reference something current. And it's like, okay, like you're all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's not great. And now people are mad.
Yeah. So yeah, the last two things here, I did this for us because we're obviously a fan of Melinda Snodgrass. We interviewed her. It says in a 2024 BBC interview with Melinda Snodgrass, she stated that The High Ground is an example of how science fiction is incredibly important because it allows people to discuss different topics, but at arm's length. She wanted the episode to consider that one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist, and ask questions such as, when do people feel like their back is so much against the wall that they have no choice but to turn to violence? And is that actually ever justified?
Yeah, it's an interesting topic.
That was the thing. Like I love those questions that she poses. I think those are like perfect, and I think that that would have been like a incredibly powerful topic and question to answer in the show. They do it kind of briefly with Jirok in The Defector, where they're like, you call me a butcher, and my people might laud me as a hero, but like I'm just a man. I was just following orders. I just did
Hmm.
what, I'm not, perhaps I'm neither one of those things. And to me, you know, Data he kind of presents this type of questioning that she brings up in this 2004 interview. And Picard's just like, yeah, man, terrorism's tricky. And you're just like, okay. Like, I get that, like, perhaps it's a little harder for 80s, 90s writers to solve the world's problems, and that they had no idea that in the next 10 plus years that terrorism was going to be like one of the most like global pandemics ever, and it like never went away and just got a million times more worse than it had.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
good point. I was thinking that when I was watching this last night. I was like, it's crazy to even hear the word terrorist from this time period because it
no,
wasn't a common phrase that we used. Not until 9/11
right,
did everything become terrorists, terrorism, terror,
right.
Before that, like,
Yeah, it was
I
like
think even the
a
first
crazed
time,
person.
yeah, I think even the first time that they tried to put bombs in the,
World Trade
um,
Center,
yeah, I don't think even then they called it like an act of terrorism. It wasn't a house phrase. Now
everything.
everything, no matter what it was, somebody puts a device in the Boston Marathon. It was a terrorist attack immediately.
Right. Or it's
Yeah,
like if a kid calls a school and says there's a bomb in the school, like he's
yeah,
charged with
terrorist threat.
terrorism.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like, okay. And it's fine. I get it because it's like a lot of stuff has happened. But
it's just funny. It's just funny that they back then they wrote this as like a, but like you said, like you didn't really do one or the other. You didn't really
right.
explain it. It is what it is, and it falls flat, and it
I just
doesn't matter.
that was the thing that to me, if you just take that scene of Data asking that question to Picard and Picard's response, like
Mhm.
that is the synopsis for the episode.
Yeah, but also like, aren't they supposed to be? Isn't like Earth is supposed to be great now?
Yeah,
So like,
right.
why is
Why
terrorism
is
still a thing that they don't understand?
Right. And it's just like he doesn't even go on to say like an inequality between people. He doesn't say that like religion causes some sort of like division
Yeah,
among people.
it's not even a hard thing to explain.
Right,
It-
right,
it's not like some great mathematical equation. It's very easy. It's oppressed people want something they don't have
right.
access to, or they're uprising against higher power. Like
Right.
that's all
Or
it is.
like in a lot of our modern cases, like they are people who are what they would term as like zealots. They believe they're following a higher cause and they're making decisions based off of instructions that they feel that they were placed from a holy source. And that's
Yeah,
fine. But like that's what he needs. He needed to address that and say that like, well, by not having lines on a map be a thing anymore and everybody having no food scarcity, no resource scarcity, and
yeah,
by there not being like multi religions and all of these things, it's like we did away with all of this. It's like Earth
yeah.
is at like that's how we found that's how Earth was able to deal with terrorism. Everybody got an equal share, and we all share the same belief.
Well, first of all, in this universe, no more monetary anything
Right. Well, also
is a
that. Yeah,
is a pretty great starting point for not having
sure.
terrorism or inner conflict.
Yeah. Yes.
Equal
Yeah.
playing field with food, money, resources
Right.
automatically puts everybody on the same page.
It's pretty hard to start fighting for something, right? Yeah, like I don't know what you're fighting for.
Because that's what it's for. Usually, it's for land, it's for resources, it's for money, it's for freedom.
Right.
And you took care of all that. So why is it a mystery? I don't understand. It's just
Yeah, it was bad.
It's just to me, it's one of those lines where they were like, "Hey, it should be interesting because Data's a robot. He has to question it, but like, don't really think we need to get into it and explain it. So let's just not write. Let's just not really have Picard dig into it."
Well, the other thing is too is I think now when you think what they wrote in trivia here, I think the reality of it is she wanted it to be like the Melinda wanted it to be like the American Revolution, where this planet, whatever, like Rutia 4, was under both had possible control of Romulan and Federation control, and they're both fighting over who gets the planet. And then Picard has this realization that, like, oh, we're no different than the Romulans, and we need to get out of here. That was her
Yeah.
like clear intention. And what they did was say, no, 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 no. We want a more hot topic, which was Northern Ireland and all these issues and terrorism. And you're like, okay. And so they can't now when Data says this comment, well, the answer is what are they fighting over? Well, they're fighting over basically land and religion. Religion was kind of like the biggest thing. It's like they're not going to make some sort of statement that, like, you know, the Protestant or the Catholic or whatever was happening, whatever
Yeah.
thing. It's like they're not going to make
Right.
some sort of comment that like one religion was better than the other. It's
Right.
just not going to happen.
But it's I think I say it like every week, right? It's like you did this, you wrote this, like you. It's like it's a lot easier if you just don't comment on it because like, well, you can't comment on it. So it's like, so why did you write this to be the thing? Why did you make this the thing?
I know.
Just don't. I mean, just it's science fiction. You don't need to talk about current things.
No, you don't.
But they just love it. They just have to. They just have to.
And you know what? I think to go with your point, just as a footnote, is like I'm fine with them tackling modern topics and modern issues if they give something to chew on and like they kind of like either they hold the mirror up and they're like, huh?
Mhm.
Or they give you something to chew on that you're like, oh, like, yeah, why doesn't society do this? Or why isn't life like this? Or I've never saw it from the side of things.
Yeah.
Like
It should always explain why it can be perfect if we just
Right.
let go of the stupid stuff. Like
Right.
that's the point.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But instead, for whatever weird reason, this episode's like hardcore just goes like, I don't know. I don't know why that's a problem. Okay.
Yeah. Ask us again in 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we still won't know in 340 years.
It sounds like we already know, though. It sounds like we already
Nope.
talked about.
Wrong.
So this gets wiped from the internet and moving forward.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're already well into World War III and Star Trek timeline. So remember, the reunification of Ireland happened last year. So
Right, that's true. And what a time it was.
it definitely didn't happen in the late 90s. It
I
happened.
just look forward to like 300 years from now being like an android. It's like, Captain, there was an old video audio drama that talked about why terrorism
video.
was called a moving picture show.
Don't play it.
The Retrack Review.
This is when they were obsessed with money.
They had these things called patrons.
Patron. All right, let's end on this really great note. Here's a picture. I'm sending it to you for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We get a picture of Gabrielle Beaumont. She's there with her arms crossed talking to Brett Spiner.
Yeah.
But we also get Worf in like a hoodie. He's like in a...
Oh, wow. That's super funny.
He's like in some sort of other thing. I don't know. It's kind of funny.
That's funny. A zipper. Klingon would never wear a zipper.
Yeah, I thought that was just... It's a neat shot. I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're going over angles or dialogue or something, but just a cool behind-the-scenes thing that I found. So
Brett Spiner's like, so why wouldn't we be right here next to the explosion? Like,
He's
what are you talking about? Beverly has to get abducted, obviously.
It's like, oh, why can't Worf and I drag the bodies
Yeah.
away from the
And
hole?
Worf's like, because I would kill them.
Could you imagine if Worf just walked over and he's like, Doctor, we must leave. And she was like, no. And then he just phasered the bodies. They are dead.
He just stuns her and then just beams off.
I'll deal with this later.
They're gone. Would have been a lot better for everybody.
Yeah, it would have definitely been the high ground. So we come back from trivia. We learn that Finn uses fear because it works best. And then
Wow, what a
Worf,
crazy concept.
what a real weird concept. And then Worf uses mechanical Vulcan neck pinch taser zappy machine, right like that. Bam!
Because it works best.
It does work best. I enjoyed this part. Beverly comes back into like the thing, and Picard sits up, and he's asking her all these questions because all he's been doing is just laying in the bed and thinking of how to escape. And she's
Beverly, I
like,
don't like your new boyfriend.
yeah, exactly. She's like, hey, so he's coming in here to kill you, and he's like, an excellent reason to escape.
Beverly, remember when you used to take my orders? Yes, me either.
Remember, she shows him the. This was okay. This is the part I'm going to talk about it. This was the dumbest thing. I hated this thing, and you probably did too. I hated that he drew pictures of her and her eyes.
So stupid.
It was so stupid.
Oh, it appears that you do have his
Yes,
attention.
yes.
Oh, interesting.
I was just like, I don't know. I get that maybe it's supposed to be a thing where we're trying to be like, well, you got to feel bad for this guy. Like, don't you understand his position? It's just like you already did that by saying that they are suffering and that the Federation decided to only give medical supplies to one side, and they're not
You
like.
don't.
It's like that's already enough. You've already
There
told me
doesn't
that.
there doesn't have to be a love interest in every single thing.
Right,
You know what I mean? It's just
exactly.
how he's drawing you, which means he likes you. And it's also like I already side with these guys because you've already showed me like the other police lady wanting to like basically
Just kill them all.
terrorize these, like torture these people for information. I mean, that's remember the scene with Riker and
Yeah.
she's like, well, if you weren't here, these
I
would be
would-
a lot different. I'd be slapping them around. Like, oh, okay. They're like children though.
And then when they're arresting the
Yeah.
children, he's like, so they did something? And she's like, well, they're known supporters. And
They're disgusting.
it's like, oh, okay.
You see their hair? They don't have the silver streaks. They're disgusting animals. They also be murdered.
Murdered.
Yeah, I really don't like the drawing.
It was stupid.
part.
It's so
It was
stupid.
lame.
But it's okay. It's okay because like just like Troy BS, it's the same stuff they do with Beverly. They'll just introduce random horrible men
Mhm.
that these women just oh my gosh, I can't wait to fall in love with him.
Yeah, yeah. She finds it flattering, and she wants to like help him now and kiss him hard and stuff. And it's like, hey, remember when he was gonna he legitimately not like talked about it, like legitimately tried to like send people to blow up the Enterprise. It wasn't just like a threat. It was like,
wasn't
no, he
even a
actually
threat.
did it.
And it wasn't even like he failed to do it. Geordi just deactivated it. It wasn't like, oh man, we tried and they stopped us and but I didn't actually do it. It was like if Geordi had gotten knocked out, the Enterprise would have exploded. Like that was it.
If it was last week's episode, it'd been a toast.
That's true.
Jordy got his visor knocked 44 feet away from him.
Yep. He was ready this
Yeah.
week. He dove. He learned from last
he
week.
knew. Yeah, he knew.
Oh man, so Beverly wants to tell Picard something. We don't know what it is. I hate that you sent my husband to his death. And you shall die here on Rutia 4.
Now you're in my control.
I enjoyed Riker and Worf punching. That was pretty good. You know it's really good? You know it's even better than like having two sides come together and then we can have like another really good speech. Like Picard
Yeah.
can say a really big speech or Beverly maybe because it's like a Beverly centric episode. She can have that policewoman stand there with a gun to Finn's head, and Finn can have a gun to her head, and they're all angry and they're ready to kill. And then you have this nice big Star Trek speech, right? That would be really cool. Oh wait, that didn't happen. The police lady just shoots Finn in the back, and he's dead. She just kills him, and then it's
It's such a
like, what did we
Hey,
learn from that? Like, well,
nothing.
he's dead.
No.
I killed him, and then she's like,
We win. Terrorism
but
always.
but then she makes the most dumbest argument. She's like, well, it'll. She says something to the effect of like, we killed him, and so therefore, no more deaths. But now he's a martyr, and then things will kind of peter out after a while. And I was like, what?
Do you know what the word martyr means?
Right? Like, I don't think. I don't
That's
think
not what
that's
that's not what
right.
it is, and that's not what it's going to do. Basically,
No,
what you're saying, by you killing him, you just doomed yourself. Is what you're
right.
trying to say, but you don't understand how words work.
It'll now take at least 2 to 3 generations before anybody forgets what you did.
Well, perhaps you can start with these small children putting down their guns,
Yeah.
and everyone will be fine moving forward.
Now, I like the fact that Beverly is nice to the boy and she encourages him to be a doctor because he's very good at medical stuff. I like that stuff. That was
If you
fine.
grow up,
If you grow up, you stupid. I like all
you
that stuff, right? And so when he has the gun, she kind of says like, "Hey, don't do it." And he doesn't, right? And I was like, "Okay, that part, like that stretch of storytelling was good." And I liked that because they were showing that the boy, was getting basically being told something else in his life other than kill, 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 kill. It was like, "Hey, you can do other things with your life. Like you don't have to do this." So I like that that's how they present it. And I wrote the quote here. The police lady says, "Already another one to take his place. It never ends." And Riker says, "He could have killed you. He didn't. Maybe the end begins with one boy putting down his gun." And it's like, I get that that's not how this is going to work. Like you said, they've doomed themselves. But I
Mhm.
like that if you only look at the storyline for the boy, I think it's kind of strong. I think that little thread is a strong remark on terrorism overall. It's like you don't have to do it though.
Yeah,
Like you can make a different decision.
it starts with the next generation.
Right, exactly.
Get it?
Well, that's it. We'll see you folks. That was a good time with the podcast.
But it's stupid. You'll see when we get there, but she is the my least favorite
MVP.
character.
Oh,
Yeah. It's just so stupid. It's just like even at the end, she still is like, it'd be better off if we just killed them all. And it's like, all right, cool then. Maybe somebody
cool.
else should be in your position, and maybe you should try something different since everything you've been doing hasn't been working.
Oh man, it made me. Yeah. So mom and son reunite on the bridge. Yay. And Wesley and Beverly are very
Hmm.
happy. Picard is like, got it, but let's get out of here.
Wesley, Jesus, get on the council now.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Take your
so funny.
time. Yeah, it's
At your leisure, my God, you little mama's boy baby. It was very like, yeah, it was very funny. It was very funny to me. It was like this whole thing, that just happened, and then it was like she just wants to hug him, and he's like, "Can we leave? Can we leave now?"
painful. It was painful.
It's a little, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, remember Picard doesn't like kids or Wesley, and you're like, oh yeah, let's write that into the end.
let's let's take this episode about terrorism and Beverly being abducted and Wesley almost dying, and let's just wrap it up with Picard being annoyed at them. Idiots.
He does have reason to be annoyed at both of them, but that's fine.
Of course he does, but that doesn't make him a good
She,
captain.
she didn't kiss him. No, it's stupid.
It's so stupid.
Stupid.
Well, yeah, last comments here about it. I think overall, it's just like I knew when it was coming down the pipeline. I saw the high ground. I knew it was Mr. Sheffield from The Nanny. I knew that. I knew it was
Oh
that
my
guy.
God.
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
same. It's
Wow.
not the same actor, but
No.
but
Yeah. But it's a good reference. That's
and
exactly what.
I mean, we're all the
Mr.
Nanny 2030. All right, Nanny
Sheffield.
review 2030.
Yes.
But that's just, I don't know. That's just the thing, was like, I knew it was coming. I wasn't really excited about it because I remember in the back of my mind, like, this isn't really an amazing episode. I thought, but you know what? I've been wrong and right many a times where it's like, oh yeah, I remember this being really good, and it was, or I remember this being really bad, and it was. But other times it's been the opposite. Hey, I remember this being a really cool episode, and then it was
Yeah.
awful, and then it's like, I remember this episode sucking, and you're like, this is kind of decent. So I was hoping that this episode was going to be, my memory was going to be wrong, and I was going to like
Yeah.
it, and I thought it was like okay.
Yeah. It's an
Um,
episode.
right. And when the Picard thing happened, and he was like, I don't know what to tell you, Data, it started to just like heavily steep decline. And then she brought the book into Picard to show him it while he's handcuffed. Like, check out this book that he's drawing my eyes in. And I was just like, I don't care about this. I don't care anymore.
I think I've told you before, but the way that I base like whether or not the episode is good is if I can get other work done during it.
Is that mainly sleep?
I sometimes I do fall asleep if it's real bad.
I
I'll
just
fall
meant
asleep and I'll have to rewatch it in the morning, but
I just meant sometimes you watch it in bed, so it's like
yeah.
you're like, you know what would be better right now is if I just went to sleep.
No, I do, but sometimes so like this one, I was like I had my phone and then I was also drawing on my iPad. So I got some work done during it. That's how I a lot of them you can't because there's actually things that you need to like see and pay attention to.
Yeah.
This was just a lot of cave people talking about wanting to be surface people.
Yeah. Well, that was our review of the episode. You know,
It's a
not everyone.
Kazinti after our
I've changed my
review.
mind. Nope. The first one stands. Always does.
We should start doing that. We should start doing my initial, and then after we talk about it, then now what do I rate it?
So that's what we thought of the episode. But before we conclude it and talk about next week's episode, let's do the thing that everyone's been waiting for.
Caleb? Caleb?
So, Caleb, who gets the Erica Ortegas Award for being the most unlikable character of the episode?
The cop lady,
Got it.
Commander Walsh,
Alexander Devros or something like that. Whatever.
Alexandria. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't go to the Finn guy, but yeah, I can see what
No,
you
he's
mean.
fine. He actually has a purpose and
Yeah.
his plan
Well,
didn't work, but he was trying to do stuff for his people. She's just
True.
man, she just was horrible.
True.
Didn't like her.
Well, then, who gets the Elizabeth Cutler Award for being the most forgettable character?
I'm gonna say it's that kid.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He doesn't even talk. He doesn't have any lines of dialogue.
Yeah, I
She's
think he
like,
does
"What do
because
you
they,
want to?
they
What do you want to
credit
be?"
him.
And he's like, "A doctor." And she's like, "Well, great. Hopefully, you live long enough to
Yeah.
study abroad." Oh, that's right. You don't have any schools because you're terrorists.
There is no abroad in the caves.
You'll never be a doctor. You disgusting,
Human.
you disgusting cave monster. Yeah. And then the ending, I don't really care about him putting the gun down. He just doesn't even know what to do. He's just an idiot. So it's also sad that you told me that he's the one, right, that overdosed.
Oh, yeah.
So that's crazy that line that Beverly gives him is like, if you even grow up.
Oh,
And it's
well, I mean,
like,
he kind
wow.
of did.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he got to drink.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy to think that kid. It's pretty crazy to think that kid played, and then like 10 years later he died. It's like it's weird.
Mhm.
Well, next is the Mugatu Award for the best alien of the episode.
Worf.
Okay, was that hard?
No, it's not even a question anymore. I'm just so let down every week. No, we're like officially in the era of the next gen where every alien planet they go to is just people, just humans.
Yeah, just people. They got like they have like another eyebrow, or they have like some paint on their cheek.
Can you believe those people with the spots on their right hands are trying to get into this club where the people with spots on their left hands are? Disgusting.
Well, next is the Trip Tucker Award for the MVP of the episode.
It's like it should be Wesley, considering he figured out how to find their base.
Yeah.
But even though Picard didn't do anything or have any good speeches, I'm gonna give it to Picard simply for the fact that he dove on top of that guy on the bridge.
Okay, fair enough. I will remember that for a while, Picard giving him the whole, like, absolutely not.
That's the first time we've ever seen him do anything
Yeah,
other than getting shot by an arrow.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's a good pick. No, I like it. We like our captains to fight.
Yeah.
Fight your ground!
It's not really an MVP moment because it's like he was supposed to get captured, so it didn't really. But oh well.
Oh, well.
That's my choice. That's my show.
Can you understand the MVP award? I don't know.
I don't even know what MVP stands for. Most vulnerable person.
Oh, no. No, I was just say most violent Picard. Next is the Spock Award for the best line of the episode.
I think the only line I enjoyed was that line that you quoted from the terrorist guy about,
Oh,
you know, don't tell me I'm in the wrong when your planet spent years fighting each other. Yeah.
right. And like now you live off of the comforts of battles and killings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of people's previous work. Yeah. Don't you remember your old president, George Washington? Remember all the
I don't
things he
remember.
accomplished?
Yeah.
We don't even have pictures of him.
Only
Not
in
because
our-
there wasn't cameras when he was around, but because we don't have picture media of anything.
We don't honor terrorists in the future, Finn. We only know George Washington
Yeah.
Carver, the inventor of peanut butter.
And Khan. Khan did some
Well,
good stuff.
Khan,
Yeah,
we
we know
liked
Khan.
him.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
pretty
we
good.
liked him.
Okay. Next is the Shran Award for the best action sequence.
I like when the wall explodes.
Hey, that woke you. That made you stop drawing and you looked at the screen.
Well, I hadn't started drawing yet.
Oh, okay.
I started drawing when Picard was explaining how nobody understands terrorism.
You were like, "Oh, let me find my."
Oh, okay.
my
Let me just
tablet.
get a few sketches done here.
Oh,
I was drawing Beverly's eyes and stuff. You like that, didn't you? You like that one?
Oh,
I can't believe they got you that good. That's fine.
oh, oh, all I can think of is just like he's like he makes this quote. He makes this quote, and then he's like, I don't know, Dana, it's real great, and you're just like, oh, that's great, that's really cool. Just you immediately
Mhm.
like, oh, got it, just all set.
I don't even know what happened after that. I was just waiting for you to fill it in.
You were like, when's that text coming for the review? When's that text? Next is the NX01 award for some sweet ship stuff.
I like the Starfleet supply box.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, they were cool. They were like little briefcases.
Yeah, like a little strap, and yeah, it's cool.
It was like a little metal, like little hard metal briefcase with like 2 syringes in it, you know?
Yeah. We've put our finest jellies and syringes in it. And you're like, excellent. It'll heal like 50 people.
It's just sensu beans. You just open it. It's just sensu beans.
I like that pull. Well, next is the Porthos Award for the cheesiest thing of the episode.
It's definitely his drawings of Beverly.
Really bad. I always take time during my terrorism to draw pictures of ladies.
Yeah, you don't actually see it, but wherever his part of the cave is that they don't show, he's got like a little, like carved out little like sections of the cave, and he's got like little anime waifu statues.
Yeah. The thing that I was just thinking about, honestly, I think what really made me angrier was not the fact that like he was doing it. Whatever. Like they have downtime. There's time where he has to oversee what she's doing and make sure she's not just like being You know, like, oh, I can't heal them. I'm not gonna. He's like, you clearly can help them. Like, I get some of it is he has time on his hands and he's clearly obsessed with her because, like, she's the first person probably who's not a part of his separatist movement that he can appreciate. I get that. And it also seems like he had a wife because he had a kid and all this stuff. So, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that I hated was the level of detail and how much he was doing it. It was just like pages and pages and pages, and it was so finely detailed. And I was just like, okay. Like one page
Also-
of him just drawing her like sitting, whatever. But like, just
Well,
like
people like actual artists, like they'll sketch stuff, but they'll have other people sketched or like other things sketched. But he's like, all he was drawing was her. And I was like, oh my God. But also, like, why he like shows it to her as like a proof of an like point of an argument too. It's
yes.
like no, obviously, I'm not gonna kill you. And look it, I drew you. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Nice. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, weird. Well, lastly and finally is the Star Trek Enterprise Award for the best scene of the episode.
When Geordi fixes the ship,
Yes, yes.
that's it. There you go.
I do like the scene where he gets rid of the explosive charge. It's not terrible. He
Yeah,
tries
that's
to get
fine.
it off. He uses the machine to like decouple it or whatever, like adhere it from the thing. He runs over, he puts his comm badge on it. There is some actual tension there. It's not bad. So, good choice.
Yeah.
Well, that is what Caleb thought of the episode in regards to awards. He loves doing that, so we
Love
appreciate
him.
doing it for us.
Mhm.
We know you guys love it too because you can't wait for it.
It's true.
But now it's your turn to write a review for us. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you want more of it? Or do you feel that this episode should have listened to Obi-Wan Kenobi and respected the high ground? Let us know down below.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Next week's episode is episode 13 of season 3 of Star Trek The Next Generation, and that episode is entitled Deja Q.
No.
So we have that to look forward to. Definitely not going to be a run of Caleb not liking 2 episodes back to back.
I can't wait
No.
to see my Fallout intro next week.
Yeah, we'll see how he likes it. We look forward to tackling that.
It'll be fine. I liked him last time, so
Yeah.
I'm interested to see.
Yeah. That'll be fun to tackle.
Yeah, it would be fun.
And so, if you liked our review of this episode, like it. If you disliked our review of this episode, dislike it. Share it with all your friends and family and Trek enthusiasts. Subscribe so you don't miss a review. And ring that bell.
Transfer of data
You
is
can
complete.
watch a review as soon as it comes out. And then, when you're done watching our reviews of Star Trek, you can always head on over to Caleb's channel. Caleb has a fun prop tutorial channel where he makes things from pop culture and he teaches you how to make it yourself for a low cost, and it still looks amazing. So you can always go over there and check it out. We also have other podcast type reviews of other things not always Star Trek related. Yes, the 6 TOS movies are over there, but we have other things on the channel, so go over there and check them out.
We also have good stuff over there, too.
That's right. Nothing like this. We do actually talk about the high ground and a different thing over there. As we referenced in episode 3, we do talk about that over there if you like Star Wars.
Yeah. We watched all of the Kenobi show.
All of it. Yeah, so check out his new videos. He's got one over there, Pokemon. He's covering...
Amon.
He's over there. He's
He's
printed
awesome.
and painted.
Oddish through Parasite.
Yeah, so check out his Pokemon collection there. He's trying to print them all.
Gotta print them all.
So while you're over there, when you find a video, like it, leave a suggestion of something for him to make. Even if it's something like you want to see him print something out and paint it, he likes doing that kind of stuff. He's very good at it. So you can leave those suggestions. Maybe if you're real fortunate and you're real nice and you smile a lot for him, he might even paint it and send it to you. You never know.
Ooh,
You never know.
yes.
Ultimately, we just ask that if you decide, please subscribe.
You decide.
We appreciate Ed, Mark Starr, and Captain Alimar once again for their Patreon support. We appreciate those guys keeping us awake late at night and early in the morning. We get no sleep. We appreciate it. We thank those guys. We appreciate everything that they do. And yeah, we're in a fun mood because it was a weird episode. We look forward to tackling Deja Q next time. And so, computer, what is
Terrorism.
I hope we get canceled. Bye.